Mind if I make a video about it? Alright, so this here you see is a dead pine tree. On the left, double stemmer. On the next to that we got another dead pine tree. Over here we got another dead maple. A couple of live maples coming out at the base. So we've got some I wouldn't call it tight quarters, but what I would call it is you don't want to mess it up. All right, we're right on this corner of this driveway. You know, we've got, if it goes out that way, you know, that's not good. So this is pretty crispy. What that makes me think is we're gonna put a rope up there and pull it. We're not gonna pull it that way, I don't think, onto the house. We're gonna pull it out this way into this this slot here. So you see that little pipe sticking out of the ground, and then there's another one way over there. That's too far away, it's not gonna hit there. It's gonna land right in here. So we needed to go past all this brush here. So the path is there. All right, so I'm gonna go to the right of this rock, but a little bit to the left of this tree here. I've got to miss this brush, because even that amount of brush, if you look at it from, I'm gonna go, this here is my target really. So if you look up along the path, we're talking about this tree on the farther right. I wouldn't send this tree down here. I wouldn't send it on the same path, because look at how much the top is gonna have to contact that top. When that happens, there's just as good of a chance that that tree is gonna break off when it hits this brush, or it's gonna stop dead. And when it stops dead, what can you do? I'm certainly not gonna climb these. I think some people would. But if you were to climb this, what's your outcome? You think you have a better chance of aiming at top out here and not hitting that stuff? I don't think so. I don't think your outcome is any better climbing it. I think this is when you have to flop. So we're gonna flop it right on this line. See how it's pretty clear? So I'm gonna cheat it. It's gonna hit some of that. I know it is. That car is gonna be moved, by the way. That door is gonna be closed. That crap is gonna be gone. So I'm gonna try not to hit this pipe. Okay. I could send it maybe right onto the top of this rock. That might absorb enough of the shock to not hit this leach field so much. But I think if I do aim it right there, it's still gonna, some of the brush is still gonna hit this pipe. So I think I gotta cheat it just here, just to the side of this rock. So it will brush a little bit of those tips, but I think it can make it through there. So I'm not gonna be anywhere near the stump when this thing goes over. I'm pretty risk averse. Guys. May not seem like it by my choice of work, but I don't ever want to relinquish control of a tree to gravity until I know everything's ready. I'm gonna have a plan A, I'm gonna have a plan B before I even start. So my plan A is the rope pull. My plan B is the wedges going in to get this thing to come over. I'm gonna keep a pretty thick hinge because you can't trust the wood to hold for the hinge wood to hold. This thing's pretty straight up and down, so I'm not terribly worried. It's got a slight side lean towards the targets that I don't want it to hit. Okay, getting the car moved out of the way. So I wanted that gone, and I want all the targets gone before I even start to throw. Well, can aim these directly at
I
it.
don't think it's going to go that far.
Yeah.
At least in that. It's nice how they hesitated until you walked around. Needs a stiff breeze. There it goes. My God, tenacious. Yeah. There.
Okay. It's fun to catch it after the fact and get to watch it.
Yeah, no, it's great.
See what I learn.
It was good for me actually. I was standing where I was. I got to see you come through the tree.
All right, so let's cut this thing up and get it somewhat sorted out. It gets messy if you let too many cut trees pile up.
Okay.
Okay, so we got this tree cleaned up a little more. You can see the well was over here. So aimed it there. That's where this big doggy here is gonna have to go too. Avoid this well. Maybe we'll leave the log there so we can protect the ground a little bit. And we'll attach that pole rope there to this rope so that Matt can go like way down in the woods and pull without worrying about getting anything to hit him in the head.
I've got a helmet.
Very true. All right.
All right.
Y'all good?
Actually did see it.
I've organized my stuff. I've organized the retreat. There wasn't much to organize. That's good.
Well done.
So this tree is pretty deceptive because it's smaller. It's easy to think, hey, we just did 3 bigger ones and you know, we're all warmed up, we're ready to go. Everything's gone right so far. It's easy to start underestimating a tree and just try to launch it somewhere. But in this case, I'm going to put a line in it anyway. This little maple is dead. And it even had, so it's got to lean out into the open that way. See that open driveway? I could just launch it there, but it's also got this dead splitting bark. I don't know, all these trees are dying right here, huh? Anyway, look up there. It's pretty tall. It's taller than it looks from the ground. It's almost as tall as the rest of these pine trees. So you never want to underestimate a tree. You just don't want to do it. It doesn't mean you need to freak out all the time, but take the preparation that you need, even when it starts to look easier than it was 10 seconds ago. Still, you're putting a large object in motion, and you want to do it right. So I think what I'm going to do is throw a rope into it. You don't need it very high. I'm going to throw a rope into it and pull it out this way. Reason being, maybe I'll pull it out that way on top of the rest of the mess. Keep the mess consolidated, less raking that way. I like that even better. See, things change. Take a second and think. Things change. So yeah, we'll put it out that way actually. I'll throw a rope into it. Yep, you take that off. And yep. So then you make your loop first. You put the loop so you don't do anything with the, yes, there you go. And then put the rope through that. Perfect. And tighten it up.
Okay.
And then I pull it on my side. Again, keeping the most of the rope on the side you want it on when you're done, when you're pulling. Thanks up. All right, so we changed the plan again. Now we're gonna take this tree out that way because I forgot about this propane cap. Probably maybe could have missed it or done something tricky with it. Put a log there so that the log is a bridge across from there to some cribbing there, but this is a nice open shot, so that would have been higher risk but not enough reward to make it worth it. This is a thin tree, so my bar will not really be able to plunge through it, which is fine for me. I normally still getting used to this saw for sure. You couldn't see the heroic efforts of Matt pulling the rope. This is how I get rid of brush anyway. Oh, back hurts. Okay, see that? That's how we pack it in. I use these little guys. Huh? Huh? I can't figure this out when it's facing the other way. Yeah, I use these to help keep the rope down, and I also just tie it. This is a taut line. Tighten it up. And when I loosen it up, I just take it out of here. So these guys over there, they come in, they help me out. They hook onto my chain. I've got a chain underneath all this mess here, and they lift it right up, and then when I drive away with my Radical Toyota, the brush stays behind. Then they dump it into this big monster pile. I don't know how deep it goes, the brush, and it goes a ways down. You know, they're nice. They're nice. They want the brush because they're building this land. They're building these berms of land. They want the brush for that, so they unload it for me for free. Maybe I can get a shot of them doing that before my battery dies. We'll see. Get it in my tailgate. Shovel out of there. It's when we fire up the Yoder.
Increase the risk of wildfires.
See, these guys are great. That's a video of me not touching any of that brush. I've done it, believe me. Ugh. I've unloaded. I used to pack all this brush in my old Subaru. It wasn't even mine. It was someone else's. It was my wife's. All right, now I gotta get the chain out so he's pretty good, this guy. He can usually get the chain unhooked by himself. I don't know how he does it. I think he puts a little flick to it somehow, and oh yeah, he's almost got it. I think he needs a little more slack in it or something. Go up with it. Go forward a little bit. Now he can pull the chain right out for me. I gotta clean that out still, but here he goes. He yanked it out. Pretty helpful. Okay, got it emptied out. All done. This guy's messing around with brush pile back there.
You're not counting, and they're going out.
I lost count.